From Slytherin Poet, I am the metric by which everyone should be judged. People who post about how much weight they've gained during quarantine, and who are still smaller than I was in college or high school, you owe me $20. Not a potato replied. Fine, but I get $50 for weighing less than you did in college.
Yes, the negotiator.
From Lamella, on a post comparing the average plate of pasta in Italy versus in the US, explaining why it is seen as a healthy meal in one country and not in the other. I'm just an Italian-American and mad at diet culture. Eating healthy and not weighing 400 kilograms is not diet culture. Sure it is. Peace sign. El Sombrabetado replied, Italy equals number 6 in life expectancy. The country that invented HAES and fat acceptance? 46th. HAES and fat acceptance tell us that weight is caused by genetics, not by diet and exercise. Why do Sicilians tend to weigh less than descendants of Sicilians in North America? Does moving to a country where the government subsidizes high fructose corn syrup change DNA? Archibald Crappens added, Yes it does. Where DNA means diabetes now assured. From Kabia, basically, being on a diet means missing out in life. A few things you might be missing out on while working so hard to shed that extra 5 pounds. Ordering pizza after a long day. Going out to eat or party with friends. Sleeping in when you need the rest. Enjoying a meal without the urge to burn it off. Eating your baked goods instead of giving them away. Trying foreign foods while traveling the world. Sweet, frothy cappuccinos. Celebrating happy occasions over dessert. Snacking. Having something sweet after a meal. Ordering what you actually want at a restaurant. Food diversity. Spending time on things other than counting and weighing. Body acceptance. Gup gup. Since when are cappuccinos sweet? It's just supposed to be espresso and frothed milk. Dark Silverhawk. A lot of people forget that coffee and mocha-flavored milkshakes are actually two different things.
Did you notice that all those things you're missing out on is just food? I guess FAs don't know it, but there can very well be a very happy portion of your life that doesn't revolve around food.
Stable Abel brings us, with the rising obesity epidemic in children, let's just ignore how much sugar and lack of nutritional info plays a part in that. Well, now that this is online, they've really tightened up the curriculum for the mentors by giving us PowerPoints to go through with the girls. I'm preparing for this week and my stomach dropped at some of the things I'm supposed to show my mentees. The materials completely demonize sugar, say that it causes acne, heart disease, weight gain, drains your energy, etc., and asks the girls to look at nutritional labels and be shocked at how much sugar is in processed food. It then goes on to tell them that they should be weary of ingredients they don't recognize.
Yeah, that's right. They wrote weary.
And that they should eat mostly whole foods. I, like many of you, found the HAES, intuitive eating, anti-diet movement through my recovery from an eating disorder. This material reminded me so much of the days when I was in the thick of my disordered eating and obsession with food. I don't want to push this garbage on girls ever, let alone at such a crucial time in their development. But I'm also not able to just skip over all of it, as I have a commenter, who I don't really know, and there is a representative from the nationwide organization that put this together in the meeting for us. What do I do? Silly straws all around. Can you imagine being so far in denial or lacking knowledge to such an extent that you can't even acknowledge that processed foods are not optimal and whole foods are good? Mind-blowing. It's one thing to not care. It's an entirely other beast to not even know or accept it. So sad. Also, this person needs to stay away from these girls. She has no busy mentoring anyone about eating or health. Oof. Wheezy Runner. Seriously, this person reminds me of the tobacco companies pretending that smoking doesn't cause lung cancer. It's fine if a person acknowledges the risks of smoking, or alcohol, or flaming hot Cheetos, or whatever your vice is, and chooses to do it anyway. But at least give them information they need to make that decision. Brought to us by Olivia Olive. Commentary on Michelle Obama's new kids show about healthy eating.
This is the first time I've heard about this kid show. I know nothing else about it.
Trigger word, childhood obesity, conflating weight and health. Does anyone have thoughts on this? My blood is going cold, and I'm very afraid There will be anti-fat rhetoric in here. I'm so scared that fat children of the world will be more sugared on with a show like this on Netflix. Romantic replied, "How dare we try to teach kids about nutrition and healthy eating? How horrible to try to help kids establish habits that will help them be well as they age. I swear people like this want to drag everyone down to their miserable, unhealthy level to make themselves feel better. This kind of content is clearly so needed. Go Michelle, heart." Blackie Chan added, "The worst part is, they will let literal children set themselves up for a miserable, hard life, just so that they don't have to admit they have a problem. I'm finally losing the weight I put on as a kid, and losing that kind of weight now is gonna leave me with saggy skin, and I'm gonna have to live with that or get surgery. I'm learning habits now I should have learned as a kid. My bones are most likely permanently affected by the weight they had to carry. I'm currently 185 pounds, which is 40 pounds less than I was in 7th grade, and I feel heavy. I can't imagine how I was carrying all that weight on my frame. And back then, I was shorter. Childhood obesity should be considered child abuse, honestly. If my parents had caught me as a child and taught me healthy habits, I could have looked a lot better and been a lot healthier." From Am I the Jerk Just Curious, "Why I really hate people who push HAES and IE. Innocent people who don't know any better get hurt by these lies. I'm so angry at myself buying into the health at any size movement. It's been a 1.5 year long binge, encouraged by intuitive eating, and I've gained 100 pounds in that time. Intuitive eating tells you to eat with no restrictions and promises that binging will stop. Well, that didn't happen, and now I weigh more than I ever have. I'm sorry, I'm just angry and I don't know what to do. They've brainwashed me saying that diets never work, and now I genuinely don't know what to do." Puzzle-headed mood. "Same happened to me. Found HAES when I was about 90 to 95 kilograms. It sounded good, so I read a German IE book and thought, I will do this. What happened? I gained 10 kilograms in about 4 months. That's about 22 pounds. That would have been 30 kilograms a year. That's about 66 pounds a year. Luckily, my doctor asked me why I gained weight that fast and did a checkup. Found out I had fatty liver and some other concerns. I was 23! So I decided to lose all the weight and have kept it off for the last 3 years." Another from Olivia Olive. "I've gained 3 sizes and that's totally cool. Also, my A1C is elevated and I have insulin resistance. I have ditched all forms of intentional weight loss and restricted eating for the last 1.5 years. Initially, it took my body some time to adjust to food I had stopped eating. But now it's better. I'm at peace with food, never guilty, never craving, never missing anything. However, I think there are 2 issues. I thought that by this time my weight would settle. It hasn't. I've gained 3 sizes, and that's totally cool. But I'm still gaining. In managing my wardrobe, especially expensive outerwear, we are in Canada, is becoming a challenge. And I'm beginning to believe that I don't have a good sense of hunger and fullness. If I am hungry, I have to eat within the next 5 minutes. So I think I only realize I'm hungry when I'm sort of famished. Same with fullness. Not sure if my interoception has issues, or if it is years of not listening to the body."
Is interoception a word? I have never seen it before.
I also have PCOS, and my latest blood work shows elevated A1C and insulin resistance. What should I do? Should I talk to an IE dietitian? Thank you very much. Xian. Yeah, I'm sure it's the years of not listening to your body that causes your hunger cues to be all messed up. It definitely isn't your recent habit of giving into every single craving that keeps your blood sugar high all day long. From Lady Lala. Being able to get fat is not a bug, it's a feature. Rolling eyes. This. Mammals are supposed to be able to get fat to stock up for the winter when food becomes scarce. In our society, we assume anyone fat is unhealthy and anyone skinny is healthy. But a lot of those skinny people aren't working for it. They're just naturally skinny, sometimes to the point of being unable to gain weight.
Weight here is spelled W-A-I-T.
And we often act like these people are the healthiest because they can eat truckloads of tash and stay, quote, healthy, which does not equal skinny. In reality, when the collapse comes, they're going to be the first to go because they're probably the least genetically healthy, and that their body is not able to do something it's very much supposed to be able to do, which is a critical function for survivability without supermarkets and drive-thrus. Being able to get fat is not a bug, it's a feature.
Why are we planning our lives around a coming zombie apocalypse? I know people have been doing this for the last 2,000 years, but I think at this point the odds are rather low. Recent events suggest the best way to survive is to maintain a healthy body weight.
New Name replied, and yet there's a limit to reasonable fat storage. Human bodies are neither meant to be single-digit body fat year-round, especially not women, nor morbidly obese. Pointing out that the former is bad doesn't make the latter any better. From Hidden is back. If you're thin, you can't feel any body shaming, because society punishes fat people. Thin folks,
Spelled with an X.
don't experience body shaming because body shaming isn't reducible to mean things people told you in grade school. Body shaming is the gathering of cultural consensus through political projects plus social institutions that certain bodies are inherently punishable. Thin folk, since the onset of Western modernity at least, have not been made vulnerable to socio-political punishment, which materializes in things ranging from hypercriminalization to economic precarity, because of their thinness. Granny saying, "You need to eat, baby, don't count." Thin folks refuse to reckon with that, because we refuse to comprehend our thinness as essential to the way we are valued societally. It's your smile and your wonderful personality sometimes, but all the time it is the fact that you are thin, not fat, that you are assumed desirable. Frotzy replied, "Yes, I am a sophomore sociology major. How did you know?" From Dorkita, anything but lose weight. The responses are what you would expect from FAs. I'm new to intuitive eating and learning a lot, but confused too. I'm very, very large and have severe arthritis in both knees. Doc says she can't do knee replacements till I lose a lot of weight. She first said this 5+ years ago, and I'm now 20 pounds heavier than then. And she says insurance won't cover the surgery at my weight anyway. I understand all the rationale about not being concerned about weight gain as we start intuitive eating, and no, weight doesn't determine how well I deal with my diabetes and other issues. But it seems to me weight has a huge bearing on how well I deal with my arthritis. I've slowly become less and less mobile, have gone from walking slowly to needing a cane for more than a year, and then needing a walker for months now. I have bad reactions to all arthritis prescriptions, take over-the-counters and supplements, and do PT and get regular chiropractic care and therapeutic massages. All has helped to an extent for many years, but now none of it is enough. I'm often in a lot of pain, and take tremendous effort to move even a few steps, even while using my walker to lean on heavily. I'm very afraid one day soon my knees will give up completely, and I won't be able to walk at all. I live alone. I know trying to lose weight will not work, as I've tried that for 50 years, but I'm very afraid even 5 more pounds could be the straw that breaks my back, my knees. Weight very much affects how my knees function. Or is there anything I'm not considering? I appreciate your thoughts. Gratri replied, "How is it that you can look at this, respond to this in a fatlogic aligned way, and not have that moment of realization of, are we the baddies?"
Oh, you haven't been listening to Allied propaganda. Of course they're going to say we're the bad guys.
But they didn't get to design our uniforms. And then...
From Love Dove Bunny, is there really an obesity epidemic? Trigger word, O word, work issues. Hi all, I'm a middle school teacher, and right now my students are doing argumentative essays about competitive sports. Unfortunately, in the curriculum's text set, and just in their own research, they are coming up with some reasons as to why it is beneficial for kids to play competitive sports, being that it prevents diabetes and obesity. I don't know how to tell them that generally this particular source gets things right, but that this isn't a strong argument for anything. My school and a lot of their parents believe we have an obesity epidemic, and sometimes it feels really hard to fight against this. I don't really think I can do anything right now, but wondering in future years of teaching how I could approach this better. E-Doctor replied, "Scientifically established facts conflict with my delusional opinion. How should I approach this?" Chur added, "Even better is that she agrees with the sources on other things and is trying to discredit the source without discrediting the source." Crumb Thief, intentional weight loss isn't viable, but going through life unable to wipe your outhole is. Embarrassingly, I'm starting to have trouble wiping myself because I have gained so much weight, and I don't know what to do about it. So much science about weight is bogus, and intentional weight loss isn't viable. So what am I supposed to do? I cannot do surgery. I'm too scared.
Does she mean surgery to make her arms longer? Because I don't think that's a thing.
PM Garden Pics. This has got to be fake. On the other hand, there are definitely people in this situation, and it makes me both sad and angry. Crumb Thief, the OP, replied. This is from an HAES Tumblr user, who's a little infamous in this sub. It's dead serious. It really is awful that Anon thinks they have no other choice but to accept living like this. Cordy Candy added, See, that's exactly what I hate about anti-diet culture. They put vulnerable people into an impasse. Losing weight is impossible, and you shouldn't even try, yet everyone tells them that at their current weight they'll face life-threatening health complications. That's a total deadlock situation that must be extremely stressful for people, who usually already struggle with their mental health anyway. The more stress there is, the more likely it is that people will deal with it by overeating. And at that point, HAS will just say, See, I told you that dieting doesn't work. It's literally killing people! Steaming angry emoji. Inevitable Elk added even more. Legit wish I had never found out about HAES or anything anti-diet. I feel like anytime I have a hard time, or am too hungry, or anything, I think, what's the point? Science says I'm going to fail anyway. I failed keeping 100 pounds off, and HAES made so much sense. Until you do everything correctly and still get health issues. But now I always have this stupid anti-diet voice in my head. From Blue Orion. If you can't even go an hour without eating something, you might have a problem. I can't be hungry. I only ate breakfast an hour ago. Is that you or the food police talking? Only 8 Fingers replied. Here's my thing. I agree that if you're genuinely hungry an hour after eating, and you tried a glass of water, by all means eat something. Intuitive eating has its heart in the right place. The problem is you also have to listen to your body when it says that's enough, that's too much, or just, I'm not hungry. The HAES crowd are generally happy to listen to the former, but not the latter. Sauce, I used to be the same. A post from Lose It that reads a lot like a sanity post from fatlogic. Was told it wasn't fair I could eat like I do. I've lost roughly 100 pounds a couple of years ago. I did it mostly through increasing activity, more than reducing my food intake. Although obviously I did both, with switching to water and diet drinks being the biggest change. I've been pretty static in the normal weight range for over a year now, so a lot of my friends and colleagues forget that I used to be obese. But I met up with some friends today for a skate. I showed up with some McDonald's and later started talking about the holidays. Me, I got so many Christmas chocolates. Just finished it all, but I ate a full big bag worth of M&Ms, roughly 1,000 calories, yesterday alone.
Side note, that is not a big bag of M&Ms.
Friend, you're so lucky you can eat like you do and stay thin. It's not fair. If I ate like you, I would waste so much. Had to bite my tongue and honestly took it as a huge compliment. But my friend also knew I had run 30 kilometers on Friday.
Holy moly, that's quite the run.
Did a 3-hour hike this morning.
Impressive.
Was currently skating straight for an hour.
This girl's quite the athlete.
While the rest of the group was taking multiple breaks, and I intend to run another half marathon tomorrow.
I mean, seriously, who is this person? Is she a professional athlete?
But somehow didn't associate my eating habits with my exercise. From Sailor Jupiter. Sanity, cheat days, not months or years. Comfort food as a reward, not coping mechanism. What are the benefits of a cheat day? Cheat days can be a great tool to help motivate you to stick to your diet plan. Use cheat days to build a positive relationship with food. View your favorite dessert or comfort food as a reward rather than a coping mechanism. Something that you should keep in mind is that a cheat day isn't a license to binge eat. Binge eating on your cheat day may lead to eating-related issues and hurt your ability to self-regulate. Contrary to popular belief, binge eating does not boost your metabolism. It may have the opposite effect. Just like your diet, it's best to approach it with a plan and the focus on the long term. From Casual Conversations from Bedazzled Fingernails. Lightly sweetened needs to be more popular in food and drinks.
I really wish this one would happen more.
Why does everything either have to be loaded with sugar or sugar-free? Artificial sweeteners are like black holes, and even natural sweeteners like stevia make things taste off. Especially beverages, in my opinion.
For me, stevia doesn't taste sweet at all, so it's a total waste of time.
Can't we just have some sugar in moderation? A little more subtlety in commercial food would be appreciated. Shout out to Chobani for making these less sugar yogurt flavors. I need more of that. Are there other things like this on the market? I'm in the USA.
Honestly, not many things. Sorry, buddy.
Over in Science from Mavia, eating too much fat and sugar as a child may alter your microbiome for life, even if you later learn to eat healthier. The new study is one of the first to show a significant decrease in the total number and diversity of gut bacteria in mature mice fed an unhealthy diet as juveniles.
So that's nice to know. Something that happened to you 20, 30, 40 years ago might still be affecting you. Yay!
And now, deChonkers. First, we've got a mostly white cat with a few orange spots. In the first picture, he looks supremely lazy, with his legs sticking out making a V shape, balancing himself on his front paws, and in the second picture, he's just laying down on the ground. This is Miller. That's all they have to say. From Grace D. It's an orange cat with white fur around its neck, looking a little bit like a necklace. Bubba's dechunkification has led to some handsome face gains. From Como Isnala. It's a black cat covered in brown spots all over. In the first picture, he looks incredibly large. In it, there's 3 other pictures and he gets progressively smaller and smaller, till the final picture where he looks like he's at a healthy weight. Inara's journey from 17.5 pounds to 12. She's doing great and heading toward the vet's goal for her. From Waffles Are Rad. Needs some dechunking advice. It's a white cat with brown and black spots. From High and Dry. It's a black cat. In the first picture he looks huge, in the second picture a little bit thinner. This gal is down from her all-time high of 21 pounds to 16.5. We didn't realize how much she'd lost until this side by side. From Pea Leaf. It's a brown cat with a white belly, green eyes, in need of dechunking advice. Details in the comments. Smile. From Pixtall. It's a gray cat with black stripes, green eyes, 3 different poses. In the first 2 he looks surprised to be having his picture taken, and in the last he's licking the back of his paw. But he looks a little bit like he's planning evil. Perhaps today he's going to prevent 2 mice from trying to take over the world. My chunk spilleth over less these days. Sorry about the very short video. The length is kind of decided by if I find anything amusing on the subreddit. And if I don't, well, you end up with a video like this that's kind of short. Well, for me anyway.